Hey, I hope you guys are healthy and safe. So, more content on the Xiaomi 12S Ultra. You've already seen me compare this phone against the iPhone and Galaxy S22 Ultra. The next contender is the Google Pixel 6 Pro. You guys know that this is one of my favorite phones of the year, or of last year. And I think this has the second best camera system behind the Vivo X80 Pro. So I'm gonna do another camera shootout between the Xiaomi 12S Ultra and the Google Pixel 6 Pro. It's a little bit interesting because this is arguably the best camera hardware right now against arguably the best camera software. So let's begin. Okay, so you're watching 4K 30 footage with the Xiaomi 12S Ultra and the Pixel 6 Pro. So right now, right in front of me, above me, is a very harsh sunlight. So both videos are exposing pretty well. I see that the bottom part of the video is a little bit darker in the Pixel 6, so there's stronger contrast. But it's not blowing out the sky like some other phones may. And house stabilization and how do I sound? All the audio you're hearing from these video samples is directly from the phone. So both phones can switch out to ultra wide in the middle of filming. So now we're ultra wide, but the Pixel 6 Pro's ultra wide is just a lot tighter. It's really not an ultra wide, it's just like wide. Let's see exposure. So the first thing to note about both of these cameras is that they're both 50 megapixel sensors that shoots pixel bin images, and they both have f1.9 aperture. So the biggest difference between them is the image sensor size. The Xiaomi image sensor is 1 inch, so it's quite a bit bigger than the Pixel 6 Pro's 1/1.3 inch. A larger image sensor takes in more light and also produces a shallower depth of field, and you can see right here already in these two shots. So the focus is on the laptop and the chicken salad in the foreground, and behind it is this cup of coffee, and you can already see in the Xiaomi's image this coffee is already slightly a little bit blurred out with that bokeh, whereas this coffee is still in really strong focus on the Pixel 6 Pro. And then likewise, if you look at these tables behind on the Xiaomi image, there's this nice little creamy bokeh behind it. It's like a depth of field effect, whereas on the Pixel 6 Pro these tables are still in focus. Now in this second image here, you can see that now the depth of field effect, the bokeh, it's about even for both of these phones because this bottle of water is much closer to the camera. Now this was taken at a restaurant at night, so it's a little bit darker, and you can see the Xiaomi image is just a little bit brighter because it takes in more light with that larger image sensor. But one thing I need to mention is Xiaomi has one of the fastest autofocus in the game right now. As you can see, anytime I bring the Xiaomi phone up to the cup focuses immediately. I can bring the phone up, snap the picture immediately, and the cup is in focus every single time with perfect bokeh. With the Pixel 6 Pro, it takes a beat longer to grab focus of that cup. And if I take the picture too fast, the cup is a little bit blurry. Now moving on to general photos captured by the main camera in good daylight, both cameras are really damn good in terms of colors, sharpness, dynamic range. Both of these shots right now are pretty much on point. You'll notice that the Pixel did a better job exposing the scene out the window. It's like perfectly balanced, whereas on the Xiaomi it's slightly blown out. However, if you jump into both images full size to Pixel Peep, you'll see that the Pixel's image is consistently noisier. See, you look at right here, there's a lot more noise and also digital over sharpening in the Pixel shot. Now moving on to the ultra wide, the first thing you'll notice is that the Pixel's ultra wide is just not that wide. It's not really an ultra wide field of view, it's like 114 degrees. Whereas the Xiaomi 12S Ultra has a slightly wider field of view. It fits the definition of a traditional wide-angle shot a little bit better. You'll see that colors exposure are both pretty even, but if we jump into actual size again, you can see again the Pixel's ultra wide is a lot noisier. Look at this table right here on the Pixel shot compared to Xiaomi's. Now let's move to something a little bit more challenging, high contrast scenes. So looking at both of these samples, ignore that watermark below the Xiaomi image. I accidentally turned it on, but just focus on the image and both of these look really good. You'll see that Xiaomi's shadows are a little bit darker, and that's something that you will see across all the images. That's because this is that signature Leica look with a little bit more contrast, so shadows are purposely kept a little bit darker. Now look at the building in the sky, both of these shots are really good. The Xiaomi shot is just a little bit more contrasty. However, if you pixel peep, jump into actual size, you see that again Xiaomi's image is just sharper. Look at this green building right here. It's just a little bit sharper and more natural looking than the Pixel, with a lot of digital sharpening. And then if you look down at the pavement, like look at this on the Pixel shot, this does not look good. Now we look at this other set of high contrast scenes, same story. You notice that the shadows are a little bit darker in Xiaomi shot compared to the Pixel. The Pixel is a little bit better lit, but both of these shots expose the skies very well. And again, let's pixel peep. You'll see again it's a lot more noisier in the Pixel shot, so that's a recurring theme every single time. Okay, so a lot of you guys seem to care about selfie videos. I personally don't, but here is selfie camera footage with the Xiaomi 12S Ultra and the Pixel 6 Pro. So the shortcoming of the Xiaomi 12S Ultra is they can only shoot at 1080p. Again, I don't really care. I don't want my face in 4K, but a lot of you guys do. So here's front-facing camera footage, 1080p. Okay, so the selfie video was a clear win for the Pixel because the Xiaomi kept blowing out the sky. Another area where the Pixel wins, although this one's much closer, is in zoom lens. So the Pixel has a 4x periscope zoom, Xiaomi has a 5x periscope zoom. And right here we have a 5x zoom photo against a 4x zoom, so I'll start digitally cropping to the Pixel's shot to bring it about the same framing as the 5x. And both of these shots look very close, but then I think Xiaomi shot is a little bit softer. If you just look at the texture, it just seems like the Pixel shot is a little bit sharper. Particularly this plaque right here, you see it's quite soft right here in the Xiaomi. Here we have another 5x versus 4x shot. You can see the Pixel shot has a little bit better colors, and if I jump into actual size, this newspaper clip is also a little bit sharper too. Particularly this man right here. See, he's a complete blur in Xiaomi zoom shots. In the Pixel you can still see him a little bit. Okay, so we're on a pretty dark alley. Let's test low light photography with these two phones. I'm gonna purposely shoot against this light to see how the camera lenses handle the flare. So main camera, ultra wide camera. So you notice that Xiaomi's image has less of a flare. That's because Xiaomi's main camera uses Leica optics, including an AP lens that was designed to reduce lens flare. Now both of these shots look pretty good just from afar in terms of lighting. I think the Xiaomi color science is closer to real life. The Pixel, as usual, kind of cools the images a little bit by giving a blue tint. Now let's go into full size to pixel peep. Yeah, right away you can see Xiaomi's images are sharper. Pixel's image, it's a little bit softer on details and it's a little bit noisier too. Yeah, if you look at this plastic bag here on the ground, it's very soft in the Pixel shot. Now moving to the ultra wide picture, I already know it's going to be a big win for Xiaomi. And yeah, I mean, even from afar, you can see that the Pixel's ultra wide is really soft. And then we go into full size and pixel peep, it is noise city in the Pixel's ultra wide. Okay, now I'm gonna test low light video too. So 4K 30 footage with both of these phones. Okay, so these are some really dark stairs. I'm gonna go in and test really low light performance. Okay, so both of these phones are gonna use night mode, but pay attention to how much longer it takes for the Pixel 6 Pro to grab the shot. Okay, so the Xiaomi night mode is like half a second. The Pixel 6 Pro's night mode is like, what, 2-3 seconds. And the results. The Pixel 6 Pro's shot is a little bit brighter, but it also took like 3 times as long to grab the shot. Okay, next let's look at portrait shots. So both of these are captured with the main camera, and you can see the Pixel's portrait is a little bit better. You can see the texture of the sea lion a lot better than on the Xiaomi 12S Ultra. And if you look at edge detection, is also a little bit better on the Pixel too. You can actually see some separation between the first lion and the second one in the back. Now move to the other angle, same story. The Pixel shot, again, you see some separation between this lion that's clearly in the foreground and this second one in the background. Whereas in the Xiaomi 12S, you don't see this separation at all because the software wasn't smart enough to tell that this second lion should be further back. Okay, after examining the photo and video samples closely, I think we can all agree that Xiaomi won more categories than the Pixel, and Xiaomi's hardware is clearly better. I'm talking about main camera and ultra wide camera hardware anyway. The Pixel does win in shots that require more software smarts, like when you're taking portrait shots. That's completely software computational photography, and also for night mode photos. However, the night mode takes so much longer. I'm not sure if you can count it as a win, because if you're shooting anything that's not still subjects, if you're shooting a car, an animal, or a child, they're not going to stay still for 2.5 seconds for you to grab that shot. So if you use night mode, then it's going to be a blurry shot. The Pixel also wins in zoom shots. The periscope zoom lens here, even at 4x optical, it's better than the 5x optical here. But for the most part, for the main camera and ultra wide camera, I do prefer the Xiaomi 12S Ultra a little bit better, particularly because anytime you pixel peep into a pixel shot, it is very, very noisy, and particularly for the ultra wide, details are completely soft and mushy. Now, although to be fair, this is not the most fair comparison right now, because the Xiaomi phone just came out like a week ago in July 2022, whereas the Pixel is almost a year old. The Pixel 7, in fact, is just around the corner. So comparing the Pixel 7 Pro against this phone would be a more fair comparison, and I would definitely do that when the Pixel 7 Pro comes out. So yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this content. It is once again like 3:27 a.m. right now. So yeah, I've been working on this video since like 11 p.m. It's 3:27 a.m. right now. But if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel, or at least give this a thumbs up. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.